Hello everyone, and welcome to my solo RPG journal. Today we are going to run through a combat example for Traveller. I'm doing this in preparation for actually starting a game so that I've got a chance to get some combat under the belt so I understand how the system works. Before we get into it, I want to do a quick shout out for my Patreon. If you want to support me, head over there, links in the description. I'm trying to build together a little bit of a community to get feedback into my videos. At the moment, I am asking for names for characters for the solo run of Traveller that I am about to start. Otherwise, it would be really helpful and very much appreciated. So I've just read through the rules and I've pulled up the two characters that I created in my previous videos, ex-merchant first officer Assault Turson and ex-Imperial Naval Lieutenant Aaron Sona. I have gotten their stats. I've made a few corrections that things I'd missed in the video, like vehicle was supposed to be selective vehicle type, so I've chosen hovercraft, and he was supposed to get the pilot skill when he made first officer. I have created a table with both of the people and their UPPs, their stats, as well as a section for combat blows and distance, because this is what we're going to be using to track the combat. So the way combat works is you first determine if either party has the element of surprise. So they're going to do that. I'm going to roll two dice. I have two different colored dice. I've got a white die and a purple die. The white die I will use for Aaron Sona, and the purple die I will use for Assault Turson. So what you do is you roll both of them, or each group rolls a die, and if there is a difference of 3 between those rolls, then you get surprise. And there are some DMs that to be applied. However, neither of them has the leader skill or the tactical skill. One of them does have military experience, so he gets Aaron Sona gets a +1. We're going to say that neither of them are in a vehicle, and none of them are 8 or more adventurers, 10 or more animals, no pouncer animals. So rolling that die. Okay, so they both came up 5, so neither of them are surprised. Easy. You then roll the encounter range to determine the range, but the distance between both of your parties, which I believe is just supposed to be one roll because it's so I'm going to get rid of my white die. I don't need that anymore, and roll 2d6, getting an 8. Which starts them off at long range. Now, one of the tables that isn't here is this table. So the idea is that it does distance in bands, and you could use lines on a sheet of paper, maybe lined paper from a textbook or something, to track this, where you'd put each one of these as a band, and you'd have the distance between them. So they're long. They're at long range, which means that they have to be between 3 and 10. So I'm just going to roll and add 3. Okay. 6, so that will say 9. I guess 10 doesn't come up in the way I'm doing it there, and that's fine. So we're going to say they're a distance of 9 out. Now, each movement, a walk action would move you 1 band closer or further away. You could move it double for a run. Now, because this is meant to be an example of combat, these two want to kill each other, so they're not going to try and run away. But if either of them did want to escape, they would roll against a 9+. But if anyone did want to escape, they would roll 2d6 against a 9+, and at a long range like we are at, they would have a +2 to their DM. So if I was to do that for one of them, double 6s. So they get away, no problems, scot-free. I guess this game wasn't written for PvP, so there's no mention in the rules about like contested roles or anything. But that is how I would do it. If there were two people, one of them wanted to escape the encounter, I just do a contested role or initiate some kind of chase thing, potentially using skills. But again, contested roles. So the next step is to just actually go into combat. So the two people here, Asold Turson and Aaron Sona, both of them have melee weapons. Asold with a cutlass and Aaron with a dagger, but Asold also has an auto pistol. So if we check on the range matrix, the automatic pistol can be fired at long range with a -6. So Asold's going to fire at Aaron, and Aaron is going to, or Aaron is it, is going to run at Asold. So first we'll close the distance. So running will move at double speed, which I think just means 2 range bands, which brings us to distance of 7 between the two, and it counts as a combat blow. So the way this works, you are allowed to make a number of strong attacks or combat blows equal to your endurance in an encounter. So Aaron has an endurance of 3 and Asold has an endurance of 2. So he has used one of his combat blows in order to do that. Anything that is not a combat blow is either a special blow or a weak blow, or a surprise blows, I think, were. If you had surprise, it didn't count as a combat blow. Special blows are special cases. Everything else is a weak blow and is subject to a negative DM. So, taking Asold's shot at long range, -6. Now, neither of them have armor, so it's now -5 because it's a +1. Automatic pistol has +1 against no armor. So, armor is the way Traveler deals with armor. Each weapon has a different way of handling different kinds of armor as defined by this table. So, an automatic pistol against no armor gets a +1 to the attack. Now, I was going to make this attack as a weakened blow, but apparently that doesn't exist on the table, so I'm going to guess that you don't get a negative DM for weakened blows with rifles and pistols with firearms. So I'm going to guess that you don't get a negative DM with firearms. Now, Asold does not have the auto pistol skill, but he does have the Jack of all trades skill, which allows him to make the attack at a 0 instead of a -5 for not having a skill. So anytime you don't have the correct skill to use a weapon, you get a -5 DM. But Jack of all trades will negate that. So that +1, -5. So he's just making an attack at -5. We're not going to use any of the terrain DMs. It's just an open field. And we're going to say we're on a world with normal weight. So I rolled a 2, which will miss because I need to hit an 8 in order to get him. That's fine. He misses. Aaron is going to stop running and start walking. So he's going to close the distance by 6. Asold is also going to close the distance, getting us to a distance of 5, but he is going to take another shot because I believe you can do that if you're just walking. But he's still got a -5 to hit because they're still at long range. So with a -2, he does not hit Aaron. So third turn, they will both continue walking, getting them to a distance of 3, which is the last band in the long range. The last long range band. And Asold will take one more shot. -1. So we're looking like this will be the thing. So Asold stops walking. Aaron continues walking, bringing them to a distance of 2. Asold will take a shot. Now we've got a new range. Let's look at all of these again. Armor +1 to attack. Automatic pistol at short range is +2. Oh, no, we're at medium range. So -4. So it's -3 to hit. So 7 on the dice, -3 is 4. So that does not hit. Aaron is going to continue walking. They're still at medium range. So Asold's shot is -3 again. Ooh, unlucky. 5. I rolled an 8 on the dice, which is what you need to hit. But with the negative DMs, that's only a 5. And he misses once more. I should be counting ammunition, but we're not. The auto pistol has 15 rounds, so he's getting 15 shots with it. And we haven't done that, even though I've lost count, but we're nowhere near 15. So Aaron is going to close the distance again, walking in, and this time I think that they can both make an attack. So Asold will continue to shoot him with the pistol, but Aaron is going to try and stab him. So the pistol shot, +1 for the armor, which we know, at short range is +2 to hit. So he's got +3 to hit now. Unfortunately, I rolled double 1s, so that won't hit, only being at 5. However, Aaron is going to try and hit him with his dagger. He gets a -1 at short range. He needs to close into close range. And a +1 for... Well, hang on. Actually, I should check that because it's a different kind of weapon. Dagger, nothing, 0. So it's just -1 to hit. Ooh, so that's a 6. 7 on the dice, but a 6 because of -1 DM. So that dagger attack will not hit. That was... I should have made that as a weakened blow, but I didn't. So that's at 1 more combat blow. 2 of a total of 3. He only has 1 more combat blow at full strength left, and then everything else will count as a weakened blow. So Aaron is going to close the distance once more, getting into close range. Now at close range, they're both going to strike at each other with their blades. Oh, I forgot that Aaron had +1 dagger, but he still would have missed. So this time we'll do Asold first. He doesn't have a blade skill, so jack of all trades, he gets to essentially have Cutlass 0. The Cutlass, he does have the required strength for. He has the advantageous strength DM, so he gets +2 on his Cutlass blow. Cutlass on nothing is +4, so he's got +6 to this hit. At close range, -4. Ooh, there you go. Cutlasses are better at short range. So that's only +2 to hit, which isn't any good. I rolled a 3, so that's only 5. Aaron is going to try and strike back with the dagger. This is his last combat blow. So I've rolled a 6 without working this out. So daggers only have a required strength of 4. This is not a weakened blow. This is the last weakened blow that he gets. He's not strong enough to get the advantageous strength DM. Daggers against nothing get no additional DM. So we're at 0. And then at close range, we're at 1. So that becomes a 7. And then dagger combat, that becomes an 8, which is what he needs to hit. So 2 dice. Now we're going to talk about how to do wounds. So I'm going to roll 2 d6. Each one counts as a separate set of wounds. So if I roll those, I get a 2 and a 1. I now need to randomly determine where that damage goes. So you don't have hit points in Traveler. Instead, you have your characteristics. So Asold is going to take damage to either strength, dexterity, or endurance. When one of those falls to 0, he will fall unconscious. So if he takes damage to endurance, he could very well fall unconscious. So I've got a d6. On a 1 or a 2, it will go to strength. On a 3 or a 4, it will go to dexterity, agility, is that what it's called? And a 5 or a 6 will go to endurance. So that's a 3. So the first blow goes to agility or dexterity, whatever it was called. And then the second blow goes to endurance. So his endurance comes down. Now that means a couple of things. They've both done their limit on combat blows, because the new limit he has on combat blows is 1. He has done, Assault has now done 1 combat blow. His limit is 1. That's it. Everything else has to be a weak blow from here out. Aaron has, from the beginning, an endurance of 3, and his combat blows are maxed out at 3. So as the characteristics change, we're going to have to check the weapon stats to see how that changes, how their ability to use those stats change. When one characteristic falls to 0, they fall unconscious. When 2 characteristics fall to 0, they become heavily wounded. When you're unconscious, you take an hour to wake up, I think, and then your stats go back to half of what they can be, and then you need to wait a few days or get medical attention in order to bring them back up to full. When you were heavily wounded, your stats either stay where they are if they didn't go to 0, or if they went to 0, they go back up to 1, and they stay that way until you get proper medical attention at a proper medical facility with a doctor that has medicine 3 or whatever it is, whatever the skill is. So this game is a little bit rough that way. Now, with that, it is time to take another turn. So Aaron's going to try and stab him again. Ashold, what is Ashold going to do? So Ashold has a cutlass. It's going to be a weakened blow. It's going to get a -4. His strength hasn't changed, though. I can't remember if a weakened blow will get the advantageous strength DM. I cannot see that it wouldn't be, so the cutlass essentially has a -2, as +2 -4 is +2. So he's still got a +2 DM on this attack, and then he still has a +4 due to not having that, so that's +6, but he's doing it at close range, which is -4, so he's only got +2 to this attack. 6 on the dice, which makes an 8. So he will do cutlass damage, which is 2 dice. Rolling those, we roll a 1 and a 2. So the 1 will go to Aaron's endurance, bring his endurance from 3 to 2. And the 2 will go to Aaron's dexterity, bringing his endurance from 8 to 6. Aaron's attack back is a dagger. It is a weakened blow or swing, so it's -2. His strength is still above 4, so we're not going to get any additional negatives there. That -2 is going to become +1 when we look at the close range bonus, and it's going to become a -1, and he's going to miss that attack with a 2. Now, Assault is going to drop his cutlass and pull out his automatic pistol. Yeah, he's going to give his automatic pistol a go. So that's a -2 DM because his dexterity is 5 now instead of 7. But automatic pistol against no armor gets +1, so it's -1. Automatic pistol at close range is +1, so it's 0 DM. But if we can roll higher than 8, it's 3 dice of damage. Oh, I roll an 8 exactly. So we're going to roll 3d6 damage for a rather good roll. A 4, a 5, and a 6. So we'll do it 4, 5, 6 in that order. 4 will go to On a 1, it will go to strength, bringing Aaron's strength to 1. The 5 on a 4 will go to agility, which will bring his agility to 1. And the 6 is going to render him unconscious by bringing his agility to 0, because I don't believe it can go below 0. Rendering Aaron Sona unconscious, and the combat draws to a close. So that's how combat works in Traveller. I hope you found that interesting. I hope you were able to follow along. It's a very complicated system. It very much requires you to look at a lot of different tables and compare a lot of different things. There's no simple thing you can do like in other games like Dungeons and Dragons, where you work out that with your sword, you have to you've got a +5 to hit all the time. No, you've got to do this per opponent, per weapon, per range, everything gives you a different DM, dice modifier, to your attack rolls. So interesting system, a little bit heavy, but giving it a go. So we'll see how we go in the next episode. So before I go, I believe I'm supposed to ask you to hit the like and subscribe button. That's the thing that you're supposed to say. And if you want to see more content and are willing to support me, head over to my Patreon. You can give me feedback and names that I'm actively looking for characters going forward. And otherwise, it would be very much appreciated. Thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one.